I'm Lensa Bengu. I'm traveling through Africa to learn more about its culture through food to make me a better chef. In this episode, I travel to Zanzibar, Pemba Island. I visit a spice farm. I go snorkeling. I fish off an ancient vessel still in use today. And cook a spicy peri-peri chicken, Pemba style with Chef Lugendo. This is Africa on a Plate. Pemba Island is a short flight away from the main island of the Zanzibar archipelago, Unguja, off the coast of Tanzania. Pemba Island is famous for its clove export and its pristine dive conditions. Compared to the main island, Pemba is relatively untouched by modern influences. It reminds me of back home in Durban. Hilly, very, very green, and if you're outside of town, it pretty much looks like this in the locations or the townships. Pemba is a very rural tropical island, and the community strives to stay close to its traditional roots. Pemba Island is one of the more undeveloped islands of Zanzibar, but rich in the history of spices, which leads me to my next adventure where I discover and explore a local spice farm. Pemba Island's residents are a mixture of Arab, Waswahili and Shirazi people. This is a tombstone of an Islamic leader who was running away from Portuguese slave traders in the 17th century. It's surrounded by a lush forest which separates the town and the villages. To be honest, driving through this ancient forest, I'm half expecting a T-Rex to jump out at me. I'm at Gando Spice Farm here on Pemba Island to meet Mr. Hamadi.
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
And
another Mr. Mahadi. Both Mr. Mahadis will be giving me a spice tour. Correct, sir? Should we get started? Gando Spice Farm is a family-run business, but not only do they produce spices like cardamom, black pepper, and vanilla, the subtropical weather here on the island allows for lots of fruits and vegetables to flourish too. Fruits like watermelon and pineapple, and vegetables like cassava.
Yeah, this is a cinnamon tree.
A cinnamon tree?
Yeah. You know, yeah, we get the cinnamon from the bulk of this now. We just scratch this one.
Definitely smells much more younger and fresher, more fruitier than the dried cinnamon that we get at the store. And obviously, I mean, we just literally cut off, it's so young. We cut off a couple of seconds ago. Oh. I think we're cheated at stores with the dried cinnamon. This smells so delicious. I literally just want to put it in any dessert and just infuse food with it right now. Looking at it like this, it definitely resembles the cinnamon that we get at the store, the ungrounded whole cinnamon, just without the center bark. And it smells even better than what we get at the store. It's much more fruitier, much more fresher. It takes 3 years before you can harvest a cinnamon tree. And the beauty about it is, once it starts growing, you don't actually need to pull out the roots and then harvest it. You just scrape it off, so you're allowing the tree to carry on producing more cinnamon over the years. The Mahadi brothers don't just grow spices. The climate here is also perfect for fruit. I always pictured that pineapples would grow tall, high on trees like the coconut. I never knew that they grow so short. And how many months does it take for you before you can harvest?
Right, it's actually 18 months.
Only 18 months?
Yes.
The pineapples that grow here on Pemba Island are very different to the pineapples we get back home in South Africa. I'm used to pineapples being yellow and bright on the outside, but I see here they're a little bit red.
Yeah, of course, it depends on the variety of the pineapple.
Okay, so this is a different variety of pineapple.
Of course, yes.
Okay, can I take one home with me later?
Of course.
I think my bag is big enough, isn't it? Mr. Mahadi gave me the lowdown on cloves, which Pemba is historically famous for. Cloves were brought in by the Indonesians in the early 17th century. Like Mr. Mahadi has explained to me, he reckons that the cloves here in Pemba Island are much more flavorful than the cloves from Indonesia. And I can understand this. The subtropical weather allows for much higher yield and better tasting spice. And to finish the tour off, some fresh coconut water. That was a very informative tour I've just taken. It's always great to see the product before it gets to the stores. Now off to explore Pemba. And the rest of my tour of Pemba has run into a slight delay. There's one thing you definitely can't control, and that's the weather. This is what I get for being in Zanzibar, the unpredictability of tropical weather. Rain comes at any time. It's actually perfect timing, because now I can jot down some notes and plan the rest of my trip.